Much of Africa has seen quite high economic growth rates in recent years, but that high growth hasn't translated into greater food security or in many cases into much poverty reduction. The trick is to make the growth much more inclusive, to focus on where the poor are actually living and working, which is so often in the rural sectors, and also to focus on building up the micro businesses and opportunities for the small business people to get into the bigger value chains. I can think of a number of examples where UNDP has been using its convening power to bring governments, businesses, including international business, and smallholder farmer associations in efforts to really promote sustainable business ventures. So I find that kind of work which UNDP is doing around sustainable business very exciting. No one actor can achieve the MDGs or take development all the way to lift people from least developed country status to middle income country status to going all the way to graduation. So it means governments working with stakeholders in their own societies. That includes business, it includes communities, it includes local government, it includes the civil society organisations. And the development partners, we have to work together. If we work together, that strong partnership will achieve far more than if each of us tried to work on our own.
2/3 of the 23.5 million people in the world living with HIV, including 91% of the world's HIV-positive children, live in sub-Saharan Africa. In 2011, a further estimated 1.7 million people in the region became newly infected. The Sanlam Foundation, together with Regency Foundation Networks and the KZN Department of Education, has entered the second year of the HIV and Me Community Education Partnership in the KwaMashu and Umlazi districts of Durban. This partnership has facilitated the implementation of HIV and Me in 20 senior schools in these districts, working with school management, educators and learners. The intervention is also extended to the parent community through the Family Support Program, providing a holistic approach to HIV and AIDS education and management through the collaborative engagement of all partners and stakeholders.
In partnering for a better South Africa, we looked at Regency Foundation and the work that has been done. The HIV and Me program stood out because of the results shown. Statistics show that they are making headway, and that's the reason for going with this particular project in the KZN area. Education is the key focus within the Sanlam Foundation, and HIV and AIDS education is merely one of these sub-focus areas in that particular space. So as a financial services company, we believe that it's core that we actually have healthy policyholders and a healthy generation to come. The project has worked exceptionally well and has been very successful in the Durban area. And as a result, we plan to replicate this project in the Limpopo area as well.
The way we run the HIV and Me program at the schools is myself, the facilitator, I go to the school and I train the educators themselves. And I train the educators as though they are learners. So they get to experience exactly what it is the learners would experience in class. Then we have what we call a co-teach, where I come in the following week and I observe and assist the educator practically implementing one of our lessons in the classroom so that they get a feel of what it's like to facilitate the information, but also what it's like to receive the responses that come from their learners. Then once the co-teach is done, I leave the school and I leave the program and the information in the hands of the school. So it's self-sustainable in that way. And then of course there's a process of monitoring and continuous motivation that we give the school.
The HIV and Me program has benefited the school in that it's brought the reality of HIV home in a very non-threatening way to the young people. It's also allowed them to take stock of their own understandings, the non-understandings, the misunderstanding, and also to engage with HIV and how easy it is for them to become HIV positive. The educators had great fun with the HIV and Me training program. And this was because the facilitators were so well prepared. With the facilitators, they were able to interrogate all the aspects that came to them. And what the facilitators did was, in a very friendly way, brought new information to teachers who had no knowledge of information that was critical to the teaching of HIV.
The learners love the HIV and Me program for various reasons. One is the aspect where they get to participate in the lesson. So they're not sitting down and there's someone in the front lecturing them about HIV and AIDS, but they get to actively participate and ask questions and give answers. The educator does very little in the classroom. They are just the facilitator. We cover the biomedical aspect of HIV and AIDS, so we train the educators and the learners, and we give them the information they need about HIV and AIDS and how it affects the body and the immune system on a cellular level. And then we've got the psychosocial aspect, where we give them skills that they can apply to their everyday life to change their behaviors. So we don't just focus on knowledge, but it's the application of that knowledge once you have it in order to change your behaviors that result in HIV infection.
Tell me what it was about the HIV and Me program that you enjoyed most.
It was really fun. It helped bring awareness of HIV and AIDS in a different way, other than watching television or reading a newspaper, but you get to do an activity where you can learn from it. I feel the HIV and AIDS program at school is important because teenagers are at a high risk of getting HIV and AIDS because they're exposed to unsafe sex, and being teenagers, they want to try and experiment new and different things, and unsafe sex is one of them. So by being exposed to this, it will teach us and show us the outcomes of getting HIV and AIDS.
Our parents and grandparents do not go to school because they had to go work for some kind of income, because things back then wasn't good because of apartheid and stuff. So going back home and talking to our parents about what we're learning in school is very important.
Having the HIV and Me program at school allows me to have the effect of going home and educating my younger brothers and sisters as well as my cousins on the HIV and AIDS.
Also, what's been, for me, I think a significant and critical moment, I've had learners who felt comfortable enough to come and share with me their concerns about their HIV status because they are sexually active. I've had learners who are pregnant, one who is positive, who came to share with me and to talk with me, and it's allowed for us then to look at what the situation requires, the need for medications, how we can work with the learner, for the learner to know nobody's judging them, and that's what's so great.
The HIV and Me project doesn't stop at learner level, but aims to integrate the entire family and as many members of the community as possible. Sanlam works for a Department of Health Ketempilo clinic. She's also facilitator for the HIV and Me family support programs run in KZN.
The prevalence of HIV and AIDS in KwaZulu-Natal is currently sitting at 39.5%. The HIV and AIDS program that I'm running is empowering the parents as well as the children, empower the women with information, because if you don't have information, then you are not in a position to create any awareness, or you are not in a position to talk about any disclosure.
We're looking at a deliberate attempt to transform society. In doing so, we need to create awareness with the youth regarding HIV and AIDS.